Aha! Alcohol. For many a symbol of relaxation, sociability and fun. And you're not the only one. Globally, approximately 2.4 billion consume alcohol, which is equal to 1 in 3 people worldwide. And I was also one of those people. Where it first started all small with parties and hanging out with friends, it also provided a way how I numbed my darkest days. In this video I take you through my challenge of going a full year without alcohol. It was a year where I did not only discover the benefits of drinking a year without alcohol, but also how it actually changed my life, and probably yours can too. Beyond the benefits, not everything went as planned, and that's why today I'm sharing my story with you. When I was young, my father had alcohol problems, which is one of the many reasons why I lived 7 years in several foster homes. All the problems and challenges I faced during those 7 years, I suppressed. And in my teenage years, I used the exact same coping mechanism my father always used. Escapism, drinking away pain, distract myself from reality, loneliness and anesthesia. I also surrounded myself with a friend group that was heavily alcohol-minded, which only deepened my reliance on drinking as a way to fit in and escape my feelings. One time I even lost the control of my behavior so badly that I got drugged on a party at the party island here in the Netherlands. An experience that left me shaken and deeply regretting the choices I've made. So I started with my year of not drinking. And the first couple of weeks I was very dedicated. Not only for drinking, but also for building long-lasting habits. Starting my day with a 20 minutes walking habit. Then practicing gratitude. Read 5 pages of my favorite book. Deep work. Having a heavy workout 5 times a week, every freaking day. And in this way I showed myself that I didn't need alcohol, but that I also started to be the person I want to be. And at that moment I remembered all the reasons why I wanted to stop with alcohol in the first place. First, because it didn't give me the benefits anymore which it gave me before. Especially for the last 2 years, even when I drank 2 or 3 beers, I felt terrible for 3 or 4 days afterwards. Maybe that's why there is the saying of age is just a number, but the hangover reminds you you're not 21 anymore. Secondly, because the new friends I was surrounded with didn't drink as much as my old friends did. So there wasn't the pressure of drinking in a group. And last, the most important one, I didn't lose control over myself anymore. There were so many times that I lost control over myself when I was surrounded with girls or other relationships. I just made those stupid drunk mistakes when the next day you felt completely regret over. And this wasn't once, it was a dozen of times. The drunk Ronald wasn't the real Ronald who was authentic and completely himself. Because drunk Ronald was volatile, insincere and was living his life underneath his mask. Most months passed and suddenly I got the insight that I made a major progress with not drinking alcohol. And that was, I didn't need alcohol to have fun. As Eckhart Tolle explains it in his book The Power of Now, being must be felt, it can be thought. And that was something I experienced for the first time in 26 years of my life at that moment. Because having fun with your friends without alcohol means dancing freely, feeling confident, fully enjoying the music without caring about what other people think. And the whole point which I experienced with this is that you actually connect with your friends on a genuine level with genuine conversations and laughter and be fully in the present moment. You're not focusing on all the thoughts and the stuff you're having in your head. And with a refreshing water in my one hand, I proved that good vibes don't need alcohol. But is that actually true? That I didn't need alcohol? I have to be honest with you guys. I f***ed up. Let me explain. So around September, I had a date with my cute neighbor, which is living 8 doors from here. And I told her that I had this challenge of not drinking a year and how actually important it was for me to be sober that evening. And we had just like nice conversations and stuff like that. And suddenly she said to me like, Ronald, I have 2 bottles of wine, which I especially brought for this date. And suddenly I decided to drink anyway, because I said to myself, if it it's a truly special moment, I make an exception. So I fucked up. I drank this year. I drank a bottle of wine at that date in September. On that moment, I was so focusing on my ego and my pride, which wants to keep me small. Well, you can imagine the result. I drank and lost control over myself again. I felt terrible 4 or 5 days afterwards because of having a hangover, and I was left with the same regrets I also experienced before for a dozen of times. And about the date with my cute neighbor, well, that didn't work out because she didn't met the real Ronald. She met the immature, childish Ronald who kept himself small and was lying to himself. He was searching for that high again and was trying to get rid of the lows. That moment was a very harsh wake-up call for me, because it made me realize that, like everybody else, yes, I am human and I make mistakes, that's true. But making mistakes doesn't mean I have failed. It means that I have the chance to learn and grow. So I can look at it in two scenarios. Or I'm going to completely fuck myself over and being angry on myself and be very destructive to myself. Or I see this as a lesson to learn and accept that I did that moment. So that night reminded me of why I stopped alcohol in the first place. Because that evening with alcohol didn't help me with the best version I want to be. In fact, it pulls me further away from that person. The hardest part of this journey wasn't quitting alcohol. It was allowing myself the person I actually want to be. And after that misstep, I decided that I didn't want to make the same mistake again. And I didn't. I chose to stay true to myself and the goals I had set before. And again, kicked off my morning with a 20-minute walk, reflecting on the things I'm thankful for. Flipped through my 5 pages of my go-to book, focused intensely on meaningful work, and finally pushed myself harder in the gym 5 days a week, every single day. But what I want to share with you is that everybody stumbles sometimes. But it's about how you can get back up and move forward that truly matters. And it's okay to fail, because when you're failing once doesn't mean that you're a failure. And I showed myself. These were the actual benefits I experienced with my year of soberism. Okay, my year without alcohol wasn't perfect, but it taught me the person I actually want to be. And still from this day, I didn't drink a single sip of alcohol. And that feels freaking good. And it showed me that even when you're making mistakes, you can always choose to return and make the right choice. And that is even for you, how you can become and be true to your real self.